Thank you guys so much for coming back here on the podcast, wherever you're watching this or listening, whether it's YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, whatever it is. Make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, a little review. Always helps me to get a little bit higher in the rankings. If you're on YouTube, it gets me more views. If you guys believe in it, you will want other people to hear it. So I appreciate you guys. You guys have been unbelievable. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share. Also, if you have not yet, for some reason, if you have not gotten my free ebook on video analysis and how to do it, 3 steps of how to do video analysis and how to analyze your game, or if you don't have your own game, how to analyze a game on YouTube to better help your game, because video analysis is the #1 step, the first step you must do in order to improve your game, period. If you have not gotten the free ebook, make sure you check out the description or the show notes now or after the podcast. Guys, you got to get that. You got to get that. In terms of my YouTube channel, I'll be now putting out 2 videos. In addition to the podcast, I'll be putting out 2 videos a week. I will be bringing back Whiteboard Wednesdays because that's where I started, guys. Sometimes you get to a certain level and you think, oh, it's big time, I'm doing this, whatever. Sometimes you got to go back to your roots, right? So recently, I had to reevaluate my work ethic, right? So I had to reevaluate the things that I was doing, how much energy I was putting into them, all that stuff. And guess what I had to do? I had to go back to the days that I was in high school and remember the days when I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning, when I would walk 2 miles in the snow there and back, when I would work during class, when I would be watching video during class, when I would be going to the field during lunchtime, not, skipping lunch, don't recommend that, but skipping lunch and going and working on the field, doing all that stuff because all I wanted to do was be a pro. All I wanted to do, there was nothing else in my life. I wasn't looking for any other thing in my life, for happiness, money, any of that stuff. I wasn't looking for any of that. All I wanted to do was be a pro footballer. That is it. And every single day you could look at my schedule and see that that's what I wanted. Can I look at your schedule and see what you want in life? Right? When you say, oh, I want to be a pro, can I see that most of your day is dedicated to becoming a professional footballer? Now, you don't have to be on the field for 8 hours a day, but are you watching film? Are you watching games? Are you eating right? Are you sleeping enough? Are you doing all the things it takes to be a pro footballer? Right? So today I'm going to be talking about a couple of things. The first thing I want to be talking to you guys about is what's the worst part of being a pro footballer, right? What is the worst thing that a pro footballer has to go through, right? Again, I've been pro for the last 5 years. I took a break, some things happened in my career, outside forces, literally, not being paid by one club, another club making, acting like I was the one that was benefiting from them, when in actuality, I was giving up my time, giving up my resources, moving to better their team, right? I ended up playing 27 games for them, but they acted like I was here, like they were giving me something, right? Just a lot of things in my career have gone a certain way, and I realized that football in America has a long way to go in terms of taking care of their players, right? So what's the worst part of being a footballer? I'll get into that. Second, what's the best part of being a footballer, right? So I want to give you the yin and yang, right? I'm a huge believer in life is really, really bad. But I'm also a huge believer in life is really, really good. It depends on what you look at. It depends on what you look at. When I look at the world, I see a lot of bad things going on. I also see a lot of good things going on. And too many people look at either one, right? Optimism is not looking at something and saying, oh, it's all good. It's looking at something and saying it's going to end up good, right? So in my life, I'm an optimist. I'm an opportunist, all that stuff. Because I look at the world and I say, at the end of all this, I will win. I will win. Because I will not give up until I win. That's being optimistic. Being this positivity, everything's positive. Someone on my Instagram recently commented, oh, this is just negativity. I'm like, no, this is real. This is real. People look at it and they either look at it as this is real, or they look at it as this is negative, this is positive, whatever. Shakespeare said, it's neither there's neither right nor wrong. It's just what the brain tells you, right? It's what the brain says so, right? So it's you who makes it positive or negative. So there's no such thing as negative or positive. Get that in your head. If you get injured, you can either look at that as a negative or a positive. You choose. It's a choice. That's what Shakespeare's saying. It's a choice. There's neither positive or negative. It's the brain that makes it so. Either you see this as an opportunity or you see this as a lack of opportunity. Okay? And later on I'll get into the fact that, okay, do you make opportunities or do they come to you, right? Do they come to you? And then if they do come to you, or if you do make them, you have to be ready for the opportunity, right? Regardless of if they come to you or you make them, you have to be ready for them, right? You have to be ready for your opportunity. The difference between Ronaldo and Messi and some Joe Schmo at Sporting Lisbon, they took their opportunities. They took their opportunities. And do you get one opportunity? Some people may get one opportunity. Some people may get 20 opportunities, right? Based on your talent, based on your skill, based on your work ethic, all that stuff, all the different factors that factor into it. You have to realize you have to still take the opportunity. So when people text me like, oh, I just need an opportunity, I just need an opportunity. Your opportunity will come. It will come. It's guaranteed. Whether you make it, whether you believe that you make opportunities, whether you believe that you make luck, or you believe that they just come to you out of the heavens, it doesn't matter. You have to be ready. And that's where we all are right now. We all are working every single day. Not for an opportunity. Stop working for an opportunity and start working when the opportunity comes. Okay, I think we need to change our perspective a little bit on that, and as opposed to looking like, when is my opportunity coming, or I got to create an opportunity or anything like that. Just be ready for it. If you work hard every single day, an opportunity will come, guaranteed. An opportunity will come, but are you ready? Are you ready? So what's the best part of being a footballer? And then lastly, I'm going to get into my advice to you guys. I'm going to give you guys some good advice at the end of this podcast. I'm going to give you guys some good advice that you should be doing every single day as a footballer in order to take your game, your life, most importantly, your life to another level, right? The point of this podcast is for me to give you guys real information, to hold nothing back. So again, whether it's negative or positive, you can decide. I'm not going to decide for you whether it's negative or positive. I'm going to give you guys the worst thing about being a pro footballer. You can take that as, oh, Andrew's just trying to get me down. He's just trying to discourage me. Or you can be like, okay, this is the price I'm going to have to pay to make my dreams become a reality. These are the prices I'm going to have to pay. Too many people look at the bright side. Look at the bright side. Look at the green part of the grass. That's not it, man. Also, recently, a lot of people have been telling me, oh, I'd rather be doing this, or thanks coach, but I'd rather go here and with this team or whatever. The grass is always greener on the other side in your head. But at the end of the day, reality is the grass is only green where you water it, right? So if you're putting work in, if you're putting the right work in, if you're doing the video analysis, if you're putting all the right steps together, the grass will always be green wherever you are. So people look for, oh, the grass must be greener on that side of the fence. The grass is green when you put in the work, when you put in the correct soil, when you put in, when it's the correct temperature. Sometimes grass doesn't grow in Minnesota, where I'm from, in Minnesota. Some seasons it grows, some seasons it doesn't. Here in Florida, it grows all the time. You got to be in the right environment. You got to be put in the right soil. It has to be put in the right soil. It has to be watered. It has to be sunlight, all that stuff. But you think because you're going to go to someone else's fence, you're going to go on that side, that it's going to be greener. Oh, this team must be better. There must be something better about this team. No, it's you. It's you. There's something in philosophy, because I studied philosophy in college. There's something in philosophy called the natural perspective. Natural perspective. And what does that mean? The natural perspective says there's nothing outside of yourself. Think about this for a second. Have you ever seen the world from outside of your two eyes? Right? Think about that. Johnny over here, have I ever been able to see the world from Johnny's eyes? Have I ever been able to see the world from the TV, Have I ever been able to see the world from anything else? No, you can only see it from yourself. You only have one perspective, right? You only have one perspective, and that is the natural perspective. That is your eyes. I've only seen the world through my eyes, right? So from my perspective, everything looks better from other people, from that side of the fence. It always looks better. So that's why you have to, so the reason that I'm talking about the natural perspective is because when you do your thinking, you got to try to get outside of that. When you think, you got to try to get outside of that. Now, it's impossible for you to actually know whether or not that's true or false, but you have to look outside of it, okay? You have to look outside of it and try to get a different perspective, an objective perspective, right? So that's why people do pros and cons lists. That's why people do all these different things to try to get outside of that natural perspective, right? That's all it is. So for you, my advice for you, and trust me, I'm going to get into it. My advice for you is whenever you think something's better for someone else, whenever you think something's better from another side of the fence, whenever you look at Instagram and you see people flexing with their cars and all this stuff, or their contracts and all that stuff, put yourself in your shoes. Look where you came from. Look where you are today. Are you doing the correct things to get you to that level? Yes or no? What do I need to change? And let's get after it. Stop worrying. Stop getting emotional about other people's stuff. Like at the end of the day, you got to have your own stuff. And that brings me to my first point. Like, what is the worst part of being a pro footballer? What's the worst thing about being a pro footballer? Number one, first worst part about being a pro footballer is literally nothing is your own. Think about this for a second. Think about this for a second. Can you name 5 players on the Liverpool team that won the final in Istanbul? Can you name 5 players? Probably not. If you're a younger audience, a younger viewer, you probably don't know 5 players on that team. But you remember the team name. Why? Because it's the team. This is a team sport, which is great, beautiful, good job. But as time goes on, people remember less and less about you, and they remember a lot more about the team. Which is cool, but at the end of the day, what is your own? What is your own? And I'm going to get into this a little bit further. Like, bear with me. Liverpool won that tournament. Liverpool won that Champions League. All the people you remember, Steven Gerrard. I mean, I remember the whole team, but for most of you guys, it's Steven Gerrard. Most people, most individuals in the world remember Steven Gerrard. They remember Liverpool. They don't remember Sami Hyypiä. They don't remember John Anarisa. They don't remember these guys. Why? Because it's the team. It's the team. It's a team game. The team wins. They remember the team. Sometimes they don't even remember the team. Like who won the World Cup in 1994? Most of you guys will not be able to remember that right off the head. Let alone who was on the team. So the worst part of being a pro footballer is you put all your work in. Every single day you grind and you put in the work and you put in the work and you put in the work. For the team, for the club, for the manager, for the president, for the owner. At the end of all this, you don't have any control over your own career. You really don't. And again, if you guys get down about this and you get a little bit depressed, remember, first and foremost, this is about the good news and bad news of soccer, right? So I'm going to give you the bad news, and then at the end, I'll give you the good news, okay? So right now, we're talking about what's the worst part about being a pro footballer. Number one is nothing is your own. Nothing is your own. It's everything is going to the team. All your efforts, all the wins and losses do not go by your name. Now, if someone wanted to Wikipedia me and all that stuff, great. It'll all be there. But unless your name is Cristiano Ronaldo, unless your name is Lionel Messi, in 95 years, no one's going to remember you. No one's going to remember you. Now, when you think about VAST, Video Analysis Soccer Training, it's all mine. It's all my name, right? That's why I created it. When you think about Rick Fit, you literally look, it's only Eric Friedlander. No one else. If you look at Become Elite, I literally blanked on his name. When you look at Become Elite, it's only Matt Sheldon, right? It's only Matt Sheldon. Why? Because it's ours. It's our stuff. We created it. When you think of Liverpool, who do you think of? I only think of Steven Gerrard. I only think of Bill Shankly. Who else? Who else? Right? Liverpool. Nowadays, obviously, Klopp, Salah, Mane, obviously now. But in 50 years, your grandchildren will be like, oh, who was Mo Salah? Who was Allison? So the worst part about being a pro footballer is you give your whole life to this. You enjoy it, you love it, but at the end of the day, no one remembers necessarily who was on the team. They just remember the team. Let me go one step further. You have no control over your actual career. It's a very subjective game. When you train, you could train as hard, and all you guys know this. When you train, when you work, when you do extra sessions, all that stuff, you could do everything right. You could be the best player on your team. But do you pick the team, or does the coach pick the team? Do you pick how much you make, or does the president or the owner decide how much you make? You don't decide any of that. Ronaldo does, Messi does, yes, of course, but you do not. When I work my ass off every single day, put in the work, best player in training, week in, week out, the coach still doesn't have to pick me. The coach doesn't have to pick me. The GM or the owner or the president can pick how much they want to pay me. They can pick that. They don't even have to pay me, and people won't even worry about it. People, like, the president of the United States is not going to be like, hey, guys, everyone, stop what you're doing. Stop the stock market. Stop everything. Guys, stop. Andrew has not been paid yet. Andrew's not been paid. We will not start until you pay Andrew. That doesn't happen. They're not going to say, oh, everyone, we're shutting down the league. The league is not going to be able to play this weekend. The Premier League will not be able to play this weekend because Alisson Becker was not paid properly. You make sure you pay him that extra $50K. That would not happen. That would not happen. So realize this. When you are working to become a pro footballer and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing, nothing is going to be your own. At the end of all this, in 50 years, you'll have your stories, right? You'll have your stories that you'll tell your kids and your grandkids. But no one else outside of your family will know who you are based on your soccer. So then that leaves me to the question, once you leave the game, what is left? What is left? What is left? Once you leave the game, what is left? Right? So what are you doing every single day to create something for after the game? I'm not saying have a plan B. Always, always have a plan A. And once that plan A comes to a close, then we move on to plan A 2.0. There's only plan A. There's only one thing. Michael Jordan only had one thing. Once he hit it big time, once he won 3 championships in a row, now we're worrying about, now we got to go play baseball. And even then, he came back and he won 3 more in a row. So you got to understand, guys. You guys got to master something, and then the rest will come. So when you're in the game of soccer, master it. Master it every single day. Master your routine. Master yourself. Put in the work every single day. I'm not saying don't put in the work. And I'll get into a second about what the best part about being a pro is. But you got to put in the work. Just remember, nothing is owed to you. The coach doesn't have to pick you. The GM doesn't have to pay you a certain amount of money. Nothing is owed to you. But that's also a very freeing feeling. That's very freeing. That knowing no one cares about me literally allows me to play better. No one's really watching you. No, there's really no pressure, right? If I miss this penalty, it's not a big deal. No one cared about me anyway. Am I depressing you yet? Great. So what is left at the end of all this? Andrew, what's the point? Andrew, why should I be doing this? What's the point? There are many, many, many good things about the game of soccer. There are many, many good things about being a pro footballer. The first thing that I experienced, the first thing that I got, and I alluded to it at the beginning of this, you get to experience what mastery really feels like. For me as a pro footballer, I'm in the top 1%. That's mastery. I've been able to master my emotions. I've been able to learn how to master the ball. I've been able to learn how to, understand the game better. I've been able to understand myself under immense stress, how to get my best out of it. Under pressure, how to get my best, how to be my best. Being in the top 1%. You got a feeling of how to be in the top 1%. Good job. That's big. That's a huge accomplishment. I'm able to experience mastery. Most people, 99% of people who have started this game do not experience what I've experienced. That's it. And I could say that forever. 99% of people who start playing the game of soccer at the age of 9, only 0.002% end up being a pro. Out of high school players who end up playing in high school here in the US, only 1% go on to be a pro. Guys, it's honestly unbelievable feeling. But too many people get a perspective of, oh, I didn't play for Real Madrid, so I must not be good. Or I didn't play for Barcelona, so I must not be that good. I didn't make it. Or this person, oh, they didn't make it. If you're a pro, if you played for a professional club where you got paid above minimum wage, then you were a pro. Good job. You're in the top 1%. I've been to professional clubs. I've been to West Ham. I've been to Sheffield Wednesday. I've been to Werder Bremen. Now that's a different level. Of course. But I can look at myself, I can look at my career, and I could say I was a professional footballer. I'm in the top 1%. Second thing you can get as a pro footballer, the best part about being a pro footballer is the things that I've learned that I can now apply in business. I can now apply in my coaching. All the things I've learned, I'm now able to teach to other people. And guess what that effect has? It's better than being, because I was a pro footballer, I now have the ability to affect lives, right? I get the ability to affect lives. People who've been to college, yes, they get the ability to affect lives and stuff like that, but more on a being a college soccer player is very, very regional, very, very US, right? Yeah, a lot of you guys want to go college from other countries, and that's great, and you can definitely do that. But for me, I have the ability to affect lives everywhere, because literally my upbringing, the things that I've learned as a pro footballer, having played here in the US and having played in Germany, and in my youth career playing in England, I have the ability to affect all of you guys. Whether you want to be a pro, whether you want to play in the youth systems, whether you want to play in college, or whatever you guys want to do, I've done it. Right? I've done it. Have I won Champions Leagues? Have I won FA Cups? No. But have I worked out with the likes of Mikel Antonio? Yes. Right? Does he do the same workouts now? I don't know. But I've been able to work out with Mikel Antonio. I've played at West Ham. I've played with a couple of those guys. Great. Do I act like I know them? No. But I've watched them. I've been able to watch them train. I've been able to watch them play. So what does pro football allow me to do? It allows me to show all of you guys how to be a pro. What it's like being in other countries. What it's like leaving your family at the age of 17 and going and training and playing with a top English side. I've done it. Have I played with players in the MLS? Yes. You know what I mean? I watch them week in, week out, how they prepare, how they train, how they talk, how they act, what they eat. Miguel Almiron for Newcastle, I eat breakfast with him every single day. Do I know him? Will he know my name? No. But I've seen him every single day, week in, week out. I've seen how he warms up. I've seen how he plays. I've seen him. And now he's doing big things at Newcastle. No surprise to me. Will he move up? No surprise to me if he does. Because I've seen him week in, week out, and I can offer that information to you guys here on the podcast. If you're not a pro footballer, you can't do that. A lot of people try. A lot of people are trying to do that, but they can't. They can't. They haven't been a pro. So what's my advice, guys? What's my advice? My advice to you is to learn skills now in the game that you can use in life. Simple as that. What are some skills that you can use today, in your training, in a game, pushing for that last goal, pushing for that, running, making sure you're working back to solidify the win. Like, what are the things that I can do? What are the things that I can do every single day that will help me in my life? Because at the end of this, ultimately, if you heard it a million times, ultimately, the game will not be around for me anymore in terms of as a footballer, as a player. So you got to learn about your body. Physically, you got to learn about your body. You got to be able to listen to it. You got to become fluent in understanding your body. What is your body telling you every single day? What is your body telling you every single day? Is it telling me, let's get to work, let's do this? Or is it telling me, yo, we got to ease up today, we got to relax? What is my body telling me on a daily basis? Learn how to listen to your body now. Learn how to listen to your body every single day. Figure out what it's saying. Culturally, if you're playing in a different country from yourself, be a student. Understand, I should try to learn this language. I should try to learn this language. Sergio Aguero has played in the Prem for almost 9 years. The man does not know English. Problem in my head. That's a problem. Yes, is he big time? Is he one of the best forwards ever to play in the Prem? Absolutely. But I hate when players go to another country and they don't try to learn the language. I hate that. Learn new languages. Learn new cultures. Do not limit yourself by saying, I'm not good with languages. I'm not good. I'm just going to stick to my culture. Yes, your culture is very important and you should definitely stick to your culture, but we're human beings. We're not, I don't get into religion and all that stuff in my content and stuff like that, because I appreciate all of you guys, and I'm very cultural. Multiple cultures in my own family, multiple religions in my own family, multiple languages in my own family. But you're not just Muslim. You're not just a Christian or a Catholic or whatever. You're not just Hindi. You're not just any of these. You're a human being. You have the ability to learn multiple languages. You have the ability to accept and understand and experience multiple cultures. If you have a Japanese player on your team, learn a couple words in Japanese and just talk to them. I've been in situations where I've had Japanese players on my team, or South Korean players or Korean players on my team, or South American players on my team, and we just learn a couple words and we just have a little joke. Just have a little joke. Learn new languages and cultures. Create that relationship. Create relationships in your game, or in the game. These are all things that you can do through soccer. Use soccer as a vehicle, right? So, yes, of course, work your butt off every single day in the game. Get video analysis. Make a plan using the video analysis. Make a plan. Work every single day on that plan. Work and execute that plan. Change the plan. Reorganize the plan as you see fit. And keep working. Keep doing the plan. Keep revising and reorganizing the plan, and it'll come. It'll happen. On the flip side, relationships. Learning new languages and cultures. Learning about your body. Learning how to work hard. Learning what work ethic is. All these things you should be working on in the game. I definitely, here, a quick story. I was definitely the player who would come home from training and play video games all day. Right? I'd come home, play video games all day. and go home. I mean, and go to bed and then do it again the next day. Like this is what I've always wanted. I've always wanted to play football, pro football, and get paid and be able to sit on the couch all day. Like that was my dream. I wanted that. Then I met my fiance and I realized, yo, there's a lot. I'm lacking in a lot. Like my emotional intelligence was low. I knew about my body. My mother is a exercise physiologist. She's taught me a lot about the body, about listening to your body, talking a lot with Rick Fit, learning about the body, all that stuff. I know a lot about my body. I understand and I'm fluent in listening to my body. New languages and cultures, I was always brought up to want to learn new languages, and I'm able to pick up new languages very quickly. Cultures, same thing. I love exploring different cultures and trying new foods and learning about religion and all that stuff. That's me. Learning how to work hard, my dad showed me that big time. But when it came to little things in life, my habits were always tied to the game of soccer. So when I stopped playing soccer, recently, last March, when I stopped playing soccer, my habits weren't as good because I didn't need to, because I wasn't playing. My routine was a little bit relaxed, lackluster. My eating habits were a little bit off. All that stuff was all geared towards the game. So now I'm creating a human being that has good habits, that has good routines, that perseveres in any moment, that works hard. These are all things that I'm now tying to myself. That I'm tying to my human being form, not the game of soccer. Right? I don't wake up early anymore just for soccer, just to get to practice. I'm not waking up, or I'm not working hard just for the game of soccer, right? I'm not working hard Ray Lewis. If you guys don't know who Ray Lewis is, go check him out. If you want to get motivated, obviously I'm not huge on motivation and all that stuff, but if you want to get motivated, get the blood pumping during a workout or whatever, go listen to Ray Lewis, Raylewis. Go listen to him. He talks about why he started working so hard. He has this workout that I used to do all the time, and I should probably start doing it again. You have a deck of cards, you get it out. If it's hearts, you're doing push-ups, right? So it's if the number's 4, you're doing 4 push-ups. If you get spades, you're doing some overhead push-up or whatever. You're doing some sort of variation. You're doing push-ups, right? He would go through the deck of cards. So 52 cards, but he would be doing hundreds of push-ups. And then he'd reshuffle the deck and he'd go again and he'd do abs. And he would do that every single night until he passed out. Why? They said, why? Because you getting ready for soccer, or getting ready for football, getting ready to play football. He's a American football player. Getting ready to play football, you getting ready? He's like, no, because I saw my mom get beat. And I never wanted that to happen to her again, so I need to make sure that I was strong enough to protect her. It's not a football thing. He's not worried about football. He's worried about taking care of his mom. It's who he was. It's not because he was getting ready for a game. It's not because he was getting ready for practice. It's not because he wanted to make a team. It's because he wanted to take care of his mom. And once you have that type of motivation, nothing can stop you. What are you working for? I've said this multiple times on my IG Live. What are you working for? Who is going to benefit from your success? Who's going to benefit? His mom benefited heavily from his success. He ended up becoming a Hall of Fame football player. But not because of football. He didn't care about football. He cared about making sure that his mom was protected. And by that work ethic and that grind and that determination that created, because that's obviously a huge thing. From that, he became a Hall of Fame football player. The money came, the fame came, all that stuff came because he was just trying to protect his mom. So all the things that you're only waking up early for practice. You're only working hard in the gym to get better at soccer. You're only doing all this stuff because you're trying to get ready for a game that one day will be gone and you'll have nothing in the game. No one's going to, honest to God, no one's going to remember my name at any of the teams I've played for. Right? No one's going to remember my name at any of the teams I've played for. It's cool for me to say, and I'm leveraging that. I'm using that right now to get you guys to listen to me, because I believe that the information I have based on the things that I've done in the game will benefit you guys. And once I get to 1 million of you guys, now guess what? Now people are gonna remember my name, right? Yo, Andrew helped me. Andrew helped me with my video analysis, and that really took my game to the next level. And now I'm a pro. Appreciate that, Andrew. Great, thanks, man. Big time. That's how I get remembered. I'm trying to be remembered. Soccer's not going to get me remembered. Professional soccer's not going to get me remembered. Helping you guys get to the next level will help me get remembered. And guess what? If I win, you guys win. If I win, if people start saying my name more, that's because they won, right? If you guys are saying my name, if you guys are getting information from me, that means you guys won. So if I win, you guys win, right? At the end of the day, I'm just trying to help you guys win, selfishly. Because if you guys win, then I win, right? It goes back and forth. We're equal. But the only reason I can help you guys win, the only reason I can give you guys information is because I've been a pro. So that's the good part about being a pro. But when you look at it and you say, this is my legacy, being a pro and all that stuff, it's not going to be. Unless your name's Cristiano Ronaldo. A lot of you guys, and here's the crazy thing, a lot of you guys don't even remember great players. Franco Baresi, Franz Beckenbauer. I mean, you guys have probably never seen Pele play. You guys have probably never seen Maradona play until recently when he passed away. Rest in peace to probably top 3 best players of all time. But you guys weren't super hurt by it because you guys haven't seen him play. So think about that. These are the best players of all time. And you guys barely remember them. So what is it going to look like for you? In 50 years, in 50 years, ask your grandkids, hey, do you know who Virgil van Dijk is? Yeah, if you say Cristiano Ronaldo, 50 years, probably they'll still remember. 100 years, don't know. I don't know. So is it really worth it? Being broken by losing a game? Like this is what I'm trying to get at, guys, and I'm gonna wrap it up here. This is what I'm trying to get at. Your perspective has to be much better. Your perspective has to be much. It has to be very dynamic, right? You got to be able to zoom in and focus on one thing, but you also got to be able to zoom out and see what's going on around you. Like, do you really want to leave a legacy, or do you guys want to just pass away and the world just keeps moving on? Like, everyone remembers who Martin Luther King is. Even if you aren't American, you know who Martin Luther King is. You know who Nelson Mandela is. You know who Mahatma Gandhi is. You guys know who these people are. But you don't necessarily remember who Garrincha is. Arguably the second best player ever to play for Brazil. Garrincha. Look him up after this. Unbelievable. Honestly, when I first heard about him, I heard about him like a couple years ago. And I looked him up and I was like, oh my goodness, why don't I know more about him? Because what has he done after the game? So what do you guys want? You know, what do you want out of all this? What do you want out of life? You want to just go quietly? That's fine. If that's what you want, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not trying to be negative, positive. I'm not trying to get you guys down and discourage you. Never play the game of soccer again. But you got to realize that there's a lot to life. There's a lot to life. And if you